It's a beautiful afternoon here and in Laro, and I warmly welcome you to the studios of Poly TV in Laro. It is time for newspaper review and analysis with my Egbon, the Baba Agbalagba himself, Mr. Deji Adeyemi, a veteran journalist, a senior colleague, a publisher, and of course, public affairs analyst. Dear Egbon, you are welcome.
Thank you, and thank you again.
All right. The newspapers that we are reviewing today, all of them have similar stories on their headline. They're talking about the fallout of the swearing in of the new IGP, Inspector General of Police, by Mr. President yesterday. And what the Punch says is IG set up panel to propose framework. The Vanguard says boost for state police as IGP sets up panel on framework. And what the Guardian is saying on the headline is state police committee resumes amidst framework abuse concern. And the Tribune headline its own IGP Disu gets set for state police. Mr. Adeyemi, from the look of things, at the swearing in of the new IGP yesterday, his response to his decoration and oath-taking was that this time around, the federal police, as it were, they're going to work with the states to establish a state police, even when there are no clear framework on how it's going to be implemented. Of course, he has inaugurated a committee to work on it. Isn't this very nice? At least this is the first official assignment.
Well, I think it is. It's in order. He came into the business, the work, with quite a lot of enthusiasm, and then again, of course, he's ready to work. It is okay that. He immediately started working. Yesterday he inaugurated the committee that is meant to propose or put up a framework for this state policing system. And when you look at it, I think so many people actually are calling for state police, and this is not unexpected when we take into consideration the seemingly intractable security challenges that Nigeria is having, and it is such that it seems the federal police are overwhelmed, and of course that is expected. Then something must be done, in such a manner that police work must, flow down to the grassroots. Well, and if you don't forget that there used to be local government police very many years ago, but the people who oppose or who are suspicious of this state police thing talk about the fact that the governors might influence some of the actions of the state police. But I think this is the situation in very many places, in America, in UK, in Europe. You have the federal police, and then you have the state police. You have, even metropolitan police that just caters for a particular space, and it definitely will help the security architecture of the people, of the nation, because come to think of it, you just find that. It is in order that we have state police, and of course President Tinubu is working hard at this. Don't forget that it was said that previous IGPs were not quite enthusiastic at running that policy. But of course, on the very first day he came into office, he just started work.
Okay, let's examine some other issues. On the front page of the Punch newspaper, there's this minor report on the masthead. Tinubu halts cashless airport toll over gridlock chaos. Tinubu halts cashless airport toll over gridlock chaos. For 2 or 3 days, we've been reading in the newspapers that the new cashless policy adopted at the toll gates at the various airports, Lagos in particular, has caused gridlocks and loss of quality time at business opportunities are wasting away. And now the federal government has said, the President Tinubu says, okay, at least for now, put a stop to it and go back to status quo.
Yes, the very idea is okay. In many places these days, people use, they run on cashless policies. That's what the technology is doing now. Even in some offices, it is paperless. Same thing that you can always transfer. You buy your card and you get to the, but of course, I don't want to say it is the Nigerian thing that these things don't work. There's nothing wrong in you buying. In Lagos, it is. It is in use. The buses carry something, they call it, and of course because I have one, and of course but it is good of the president to stop, because come to think of it, you are coming in to come and take a flight, and then you get stuck at the toll gate, and then you miss your flight. You can imagine the kind of thing that really is to the traveler. So now that you have stopped it, then of course they can reimagine it, rejig it, the systems, and then they go back to it. But I think it's just a good thing for them to stop it for now. It's a temporary thing, and then they rework the system itself.
This is just an indication that we still need to invest more on our infrastructure, telecommunication infrastructure and ICT, because each time quite a number of people have to use internet or to use one form of transaction, there's always these glitches here and there.
You know, this is the same thing that people are talking about, mandatory
real time.
Yes, real time. What we find out is that we have quite a lot to do with our technology management, such that we can really have real-time transactions or engagements. There is no point. Everybody across the globe is working that way. We can't do we can't do any other thing except to get into the flow.
All right, when we move forward, we go to Malami Gate now. On the front page of a Vanguard newspaper, a minor story on the masthead, alleged terror financing, AGF takes over Malami trial to review DSS case file. AGS is now interested in the trial.
I think the thing is getting serious by the day. And of course, when the AGF decides to handle a particular case himself, it means that they want to get to the bottom pot, as people say. So, as things remain, I think let them just go and have their day in court, Malami and El-Rufai, because I don't know. If you read the charges, you just wonder. He was said to have property is worth 213 billion naira across the place. Bank accounts 807 billion naira and the rest of it. And I wonder that where do they really get this kind of money? Is it, does it have a factory somewhere churning out goods or whatever? So we shouldn't even break any sweat talking about this for now. Since the EFCC, the security and law enforcement agencies are into this, let them go and do their work, and let's see how it pans out.
Okay, we go to some effect of what is happening in the Gulf region, how the ongoing war between Iran, Israel, and the United States of America is affecting lives or will affect lives in Nigeria. I'll take a cue from the Tribune newspaper. There's a report on the Tribune newspaper which says how the Hormuz crisis could affect Nigeria's oil, inflation, naira market. Experts. Already there's a report that domestic gas is going to achieve a 40% hike in the price of domestic gas. That means a kilogram of cooking gas will now go for about 1,400 naira per kilo.
If it's not already going for that, because what we find out is that this we just it's not about, yes, we just pray because this happens to be way beyond us. These are things that are happening in Asia, in America, and then we are feeling the heat here. What to find out is that we are going to, the earlier all these things stops, the better. One time I was coming here, about fuel for 785. By the time I was going back, and I wanted, within a day, and I wanted to do a refuel, it was for 930 something. And you can now imagine. Look at gas. Virtually all households use the cooking gas. People who are already crying or just struggling to go ahead, they now have to face new challenges of cooking. And who will wake up one day and not eat? So these are things that...
I recall a statement by you in one of our previous programs advising the federal government to quickly rise and protect the citizenry, as it were, because as much as this crisis deepens, the inflation and economic will continue to take toll on Nigeria. But it's like government has not even said anything, and nobody is saying anything, and things are happening.
You see, there may be nothing for them to say now, because I don't see, the only thing that they could do, I think, is to find a way of cushioning the effect of these things. They didn't cause it. It is a global thing, and if they can cushion the effect by way of subsidies, by way of reaching out to the citizenry over on some issues that affect them directly, the better. Because as things remain, I don't see what exactly they can do on the spot now. If you see the images of the war going on in Iran, you just pity the world itself.
Okay, on the Guardian newspaper is our next port of call, and there is this story: U.S. Embassy cancels visa appointments over Abuja protest scare. Soon as the crisis erupted, and we have protests in the north and some in Lagos, and the U.S. is now cancelling visa appointment now over the protest scare in Abuja and other parts of the country.
That is expected, such that they can get their acts together, because it's not as if it's business as usual with the war going on. It will affect the U.S. itself. It will affect their perceived enemies or their enemies. So we just have to just wait. Come to think of it, U.S. itself has given advisory that their citizens should leave these volatile regions, and even some countries that are supposedly sympathetic to the Iranian cause.
Okay, that is why that statement will lead me to this next story in the front page of Vanguard newspaper. Middle East war, Spanish Prime Minister takes on Trump after threats to cut trade ties. The dimension into this now is that President Trump is now threatening any nation, any country that perceived his action as irrational. A few days ago, I think some of the warheads, the warplanes, were not allowed to fly over Spain's airspace. And now Mr. Trump is threatening Spain with some action.
That's the president of the U.S. for you. Threats of
sanctions
and all the rest of it. And I don't say, he had said, he had criticized Keir Starmer, the PM of UK in recent times, until when the UK herself went, tried to protect their own interests in the Middle East. So this is, we just pray that it's not going to be a long shot, that they can settle this. But I am not too sure if the Iranian authorities will take this, because Iran may not be fighting U.S. directly. But what happens to all these countries around them? Qatar, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia.
Already that is what they're doing. That is what Iran is doing.
Now the citizens of those places, what is their own in all this matter? But their lives are being disrupted, if not destroyed.
Okay, let's explore this narrative. There's a personality in Nigeria that is celebrating already. President Obasanjo, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, is 89 today, March 5. He's celebrating, and he said, "I won't die anytime soon." Obasanjo declares at 89, "I won't die anytime soon." That was a report, supposedly from former President Obasanjo. It was viral a few days ago, alluding to the fact that Obasanjo was advising Nigerians and people generally what they should do with their quality time, so that in the later years,
as if he was in the departure hall.
So maybe in reaction to that, he said, "I will not die soon."
Well, of course, you know, Baba Obasanjo, that's one person that I will use the Yoruba word to qualify him as a Kondainio, the man who went from the grass to the extreme grace. And he continues to have that grace, even though he's that controversial with it. But I think, yes, Obasanjo will reply to his those who want him to die. And he said he's not going to die. I read the report in Punch, and of course, he went on talking about leadership, that if God has kept his life up until now, then God knows that God has a reason for doing that, and he will really continue to contribute to development in Africa, Baba should not take the role of who determines when who will die, whether himself or any other person. But it's good, you know, when it's an affirmation. When you say something, I mean, it comes to realization. We still need him. We still need Baba for what it takes.
That is the program today. On that note, we want to say happy birthday to former President Olusegun Obasanjo, Matthew Aremu Obasanjo, aka Eborawu. Well, maybe you all rode this to Abeokuta to celebrate with Baba at the presidential Obasanjo Presidential Library.
Okay, why not?
But
why
of
not?
course, you didn't have an invitation, so
no. I know people around there. Okay. I can always get.
Yeah, your own. No.
All right.
That's the program today. I want to thank sincerely Mr. Adeyemi for finding time to be here again.
Thank you
for
inviting me.
All right, we will be back tomorrow with a fresh edition of the program. Good afternoon.